Mr. John Anderson. Oh, okay, John's done. Mr. John Anderson is a member of the Institute for Management Consultants. He is also very instrumental in working with the group that's in the Pacific Northwest, which would be Washington and Oregon. John is presenting some information today on that he's going to be using in some of his presentations. So let's welcome Mr. John Anderson, Institute of Management Consultants.
Hello. Single focus, productivity and responsibility. I ask myself every morning, what is most important and most urgent? I've kept a diary, a journal, I call it, for many years, and I rank my priorities and what's going to be first and second. And I really like to accomplish a task, and then I cut it and I paste it at the bottom and I mark it done in capital letters. Now, having a single focus is really useful, and in many ways, it's crucial in my daily life to be able to discriminate between what's important versus what's urgent. And by focusing on the important, then there's less things that are urgent. This doesn't mean I don't go off and do other things and get led astray and realize I've spent an hour on some small thing, but it helps. It helps to keep that focus. Now, our 34th president, Dwight D. Eisenhower, has said, I have two kinds of problems, the urgent and the important. The urgent are not important, and the important are never urgent. So that gives us the Eisenhower matrix. This is an effective tool for maintaining a productive single focus without ignoring other responsibilities. It's important to me to evaluate my priorities as important or urgent. The urgency causes me to react and frequently ignore other things that are important. And it can lead to me feeling or acting defensively. I've heard and I believe that if I focus on the important, there's less and less urgent issues, and I have avoided negative consequences. So as you see from this, the urgent, you do that first. If it's important and urgent, you do it first. If it's urgent but not important, you delegate it. And if it's important but not urgent, you schedule it. And if it's neither important nor urgent, you say no. You practice positive boundaries and say no and delete it. It's not going to happen. I'd like you to get your pencil and paper out, or to shout out a few things here. And oh, I forgot, I can't do it. I was hoping I could mark down, but I'd like each of you to take a piece of paper and to consider two things that are important and two things that are urgent for you to do today. Just make a note right now, give it a little thought. And while you're jotting down your list of what's important and what's urgent, and do they overlap, I will continue here. Now, there's a lot of different tools that we can use, because we have to focus on our goals and our projects and the steps to accomplish them. And one of the things is I have to do one small step on this larger goal. So I have to sandwich in important steps while making sure that the bank accounts get reconciled, that I make sure that appointments that I'm scheduled to have, that I keep them. But I need to sandwich in these steps that in and of themselves, the steps aren't important and they're certainly not urgent, but I wish to accomplish a longer range goal. And the only way I can do it is by doing all of these small little steps in order. Then we can use SWOTs, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, to help us consider what our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, our threats, and then the trends that we can use to focus upon our strengths to overcome our weaknesses, capture our opportunities, and thereby avoid the threats while we ride a trend. We use the trend as an updraft to do that. But it all comes first from deciding what to do, what's important and urgent. Now, we have to also have good, healthy boundaries as we go through this. It's important that we keep a healthy balance, because without it, we're really get lost. Brinkmanship. Right now, we all know about the brinkmanship that's taking place. Russia has just announced, no, they're not invading. They're just going into their territories to support the other Russian separatists. And here's the story that was in the the Wall Street Journal, and that comes from this artwork here. But this slide, because it's there we go. So brinkmanship. Now, the definition of brinkmanship is the art or practice of pursuing a dangerous policy to the limits of safety before stopping, especially in politics. Single focus is required when dealing with a bully. You've got to be focused if you're dealing with a difficult situation where someone is challenging you and someone is displaying brinkmanship with you. Now, there are things that I have some influence upon, but mostly I have very, very little influence, much less control. But I have to know what those things are, because it's a waste of time to put a lot of energy into things that I have virtually no control of. What's most important? Here's my list of 5. What's your list? If I can't keep my health and well-being together, then what have I got? And my family, that's of crucial importance, but I have to be healthy to be able to invest in and to enjoy my family. And then I have to keep the finances together while keeping clients happy and keeping my commitments more broadly. Of course, we've all heard of undercommitting and over-delivering, but that's in the context of seeking a better world. I agree with what Plato says, all men seek the good. Yes, Putin would like Russia to be a world power, and this is one way he can go about it. For him, this is his good. Now, his good, though, isn't other people's goods. Life is short, we do our best. We're alive, time and space are functions of mind, and we live here and now. What are your priorities? Who's on your team supporting your single focus?
What if you could get rid of your kitchen garbage? Hey, I'm not from Gila.
Excuse the ad here. We all know Neil Young.
John, your audio's not coming through very well.
I'm a rocker on the spiritual path.
All right. All right. Thank you, John. Okay, so do your unscreen share. There you go. Let's see. No, that didn't do it. Just there you go. Okay. Thank you, John. if you would take a minute and give John some feedback through the private chat. So one thing to look at there, John, your audio wasn't coming through too well with the music, okay?
Ah.
So we'll have to look at that and see what you need to do.
Thank you.
All right, our next segment is what everybody came for today. Table topics. I know you want to participate in table topics. You want to be able to speak off the cuff. You want to be called upon to talk about something that you have no idea is going to be your topic. And to do that is Wendy Kozlowski, our table topics master today. Wendy, it's all yours.
Terrific. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I have